Okay, we are back and doing one more video here on backfill, which essentially is going to be all the spaces that have been removed that we need to fill back in after we've built our basement structure. So if we go to a view here of just like our plan status, and we switch this to a view without any transparency, you can really see that we need to bring our grade up quite a bit. There is certainly a lot of backfill that we need to do here, and we even need to fill in some areas underneath some slabs here, like underneath the garage slab. We can cut through this project and point out just how much there actually is there. So we can see that there's a lot in this area, as well as just a little bit here underneath our normal slab on grade. So yeah, with that, we let's talk a little bit about how we anticipate going through and adding this back in. So one section of this here is, I would say that it's worthwhile to not try to do this all at once, but to kind of break things down and separate it out so that we can tackle each of these areas individually. So I would say that we want to do one for certainly around the perimeter. We will want to do some underneath the slab, so we'll do each of those individually. And then, yeah, we might even break this up into phases here so we can, backfill the front, backfill the side, backfill the back, and so on. So we have an opportunity here where by bringing our backfill in, we can actually make adjustments and use this backfill for doing our finish grading around the perimeter of the project, because there are some cases here where we have a different grade after we've done the project versus what was existing, and so this provides a nice opportunity to go through and make those updates. As I'm looking at the screen here, I'm going to clear out a few of these guidelines that we had modeled in just to keep this nice and clean. Delete these. Okay, so let's turn on a view here. We're actually on our backfill view. Let's go ahead and I'm going to jump over, and I've added in just a backfill mesh here. So we're going to eyedropper this, and we'll go back to our ground floor here. And so one thing to note here is we actually want to pretty much have this our extents of this almost match exactly that of our excavation mesh. And so we can actually just magic wand this to begin with. And so now we have our backfill. And next step here is we can go through and we can just essentially trim out everything that's up to the face of our exterior basement walls. So in order to do that, I'm just going to go and turn on our basement level here. So we'll show this as a trace reference. Let's see, we need to switch this over actually to our plan status. And let me just double check here. We'll go back to existing. Sorry, one thing real quick. Okay, so this was set to a demo status. This needs to be set to a new status. And so, yeah, our excavation was still on demo. So now when we switch over to our plan status, we can now see that new mesh here. So, okay, next up is we need to start cutting out our interior here. So we can click on the outside. We can go to our subtraction option here, and let's just go through, and we can do a lot of these in just kind of wide sections at once. We can just continue on with this by clicking to subtract. We'll take this all the way over, and we'll simply just offset this. So, okay, there we go. We now have this modeled in. Let's check our elevations. And we do need to just check to make sure that that layer is turned on. It's actually, we have it assigned under our foundation layer for backfill. So there it is. We're going to turn it off, or we're going to turn it off of the wireframe mode. And okay, there it is. So now it's easy to find. We can kind of drop it down to our general elevation here. And okay, so we can see that we can start actually even making adjustments here to bring this up to our current grade. So it may have actually been easier. I'm going to undo this, undo that. And instead of bringing it up, let's actually start at one of our higher grades here, and then we can adjust things down. Probably makes it just slightly easier. So, you know, we have a little bit more substantial slope over on this side, but we can go in and just kind of drop in a few points here and start making adjustments. So when we have something like this that's really close, we just need to get in here and make sure that we are snapping not to the blue line, but to the actual mesh surface, or the mesh plane. So, okay, so let's get these down. Get in closer. And okay, as we get in here, we really want these probably to be snapping pretty close to the top of those walls, but we can always go back in and check to see what our finished grade is intended to be over on these areas. So I'm also going to temporarily hide our property line so that we can really see exactly where we are going with this. So we will adjust these down. We can hide our shoring. And okay, so already we are getting pretty close here to kind of where we want it to be. So over here, it looks like we need to actually raise this up slightly. So we can drop that in, pull it up. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. We can always go through and make these adjustments, but we can adjust that one down. This one over here, let's drop down probably about to there. Okay, so once again, of course, we can go through and continue making adjustments here. You can see obviously now we have some areas here that we probably want to contour this just a little bit more. We can do a little bit of that here just by creating some new points, and then adjust as needed. Probably need to fill that in a little bit there. Okay, so there's one of our major pieces of the puzzle here. The other piece that we need, that we can work with here, is we can actually just take these two. So we have one that is our backfill right now, and the other being our subgrade. And so one thing we need to do is we just need to make sure that we are extending this down deep enough that we are getting to the bottom of our excavation. So whether it's actually this elevation here or not, we can do some checks here and make sure that that gets us deep enough, which it looks like it is as of right now. So that's good. And next step is, you could probably guess it, we're doing a solid element operation here. I'm actually going to just kind of turn this, we can go from earth, let's just go to like a kind of a glassy yellow. So, okay, so we can see this shape a little bit more. So this is our target. Our subgrade in this case will be our operator. So we are going to be doing a subtraction with downward extrusion in this case. So let's execute that. And there we go. We can see our backfill is starting to come into play. So we have our exterior working right now. Now we just need to go in and do our interior as well. So we can pick up the settings of this. we can come in here, and now we just need to start filling this in. So we can fill that in right there. We'll do a solid element operation there. We will fill in this section underneath here. We have this entire area here that we can fill. Yeah, I'm looking at my boundary here, so we can add that. So I'm going to select all these for the moment, and let's just turn off our, well, let's kind of fade out our fill pen. There it is. It's not that other one. So we can kind of distinguish this a little bit more. And then over on this side, we have this area here as well. Okay, so with these, let's go through. Well, we can actually do just like a section cut through these is fine. We actually need to cut through that side as well. So we'll kind of do one like this. And then let's just make some adjustments. So this one here, I'm going to take this, going to drag the whole thing down. We're going to snap it right there, and we're way deep on this one. So let's just go to bottom of footing here. And we're still on a wireframe view for this particular case. So I think I need to probably make an adjustment here to our layer combination. Backfill. Let's update that one for the moment. Okay, so there we are. We can change our override. Okay, so this is one of our biggest ones that we have here. So again, we're getting that right to the bottom of our slab. We can take this, it's now our target. Our subgrade is our operator. Doesn't like me trying to select it here in this view, but there we go. So operator, subtraction with downward extrusion, execute. Okay, there's one. Next up, we'll take this, we'll drop it down. Not quite far enough. Sometimes it's easier to drop it down and then move it back up. Okay. Snapping this up. All right. And so in this case, I actually need to offset this over just slightly. So we'll snap it right there. Okay. So with this one, we can get a little bit more complicated on this one because we actually need to include our footings as well. So we're adding this as our target. We are using our subgrade. Actually, our subgrade is not going to even do anything in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our foundation walls and our footings. So we can easily pick up the ones on our edge here. We really only need this footing on this side. I'm going to click and undo. Actually, we're in a marquee. Let's see here. We'll do these and then we'll pick up this other line in a second. So we're just doing a pure subtraction in this case. So I'll execute these. Okay. And I'm going to hit my F5, and the last one here that we need to do is this beam here as well as this beam. So those are our operators. There's our backfill, execute. Okay, so we take that one, and now we can see that that is a nice, clean backfill that's even filling around our footings for us. So, okay, so with that, let's continue on here. We can do a similar move here with our, actually we need to go pretty deep here. Looks like we're could snap this one right here. Okay, so with this, that's our target, of course. We have all of these footings as our operator in this case, as well as our subgrade. Okay, so we're picking these up and our subgrade. So these are all operators. And in this case, we can do a subtraction with downward extrusion because, well, actually, no, just a pure subtraction works because we want to fill in some of this little volume here. That's actually not quite right. We want to probably adjust that, but let's just do a subtraction. Execute. Okay, so how does this fill look now? Looks pretty good. Yeah, we got a little bit of extra fluff in there, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. Compared to the whole volume, it's okay. So we've done this one. We've done this one. So this one in particular, we had done this, but when we're looking at this here, I think we had left out our foundations. So, but those foundations sit exactly on, or our slab sits exactly on there. So there really is no backfill in between in that case. So with this, let's, we can simplify this one a little bit. Let's get our mesh selected. And okay, we can offset it from this side. Right to here. So we've excluded that out. We could do the same thing here. And pretty much all around. So we're just going through cutting out those footings versus doing a solid element operation. Okay, so there we go. But we do need to cut out some of these down here. So once again, we're going to pick these up. We can pick that one up also. So operators, subtraction, execute. Okay, so let's check this. Looking pretty good. So we really just have our sloping going up here, and then yeah, that's perfect. So again, we got a little bit of weirdness with these steps, but we could take care of that by just we'd actually adjust all of this just by adjusting our excavation fill, because that's going to adjust our subgrade and resulting in an update to this one as well. So okay, we're almost done here. We just have one more here in the back. So first step, take this, snapping it down. Next step, pulling this back up, bottom of footing. So that's our target. Beams, in this case, our operator. And subtract. Execute. Looks good. Okay, so that's our backfill. Not too bad. It didn't take too long, about 20 minutes to run through that one. And yeah, I'm definitely pretty happy with that. So Yeah, of course we can go in and make additional adjustments to our finish grade here. But for right now, I think that looks pretty good to me. And yeah, let's check our earthwork here. See if we get our backfill coming through. Let's see, where is it? Structural backfill. So we should be seeing this come through on our earthwork. You know what? All of these here are set as existing, so let's just make a quick adjustment there. This is new. Backfill is new. Oh, there it is. So we can see all of our backfill there. So total, we can actually get some previews on our totals here by clicking our little flag symbol here for our cost item, which is our summary, and then our net volume. We can click this one, sorry, not our area, net volume. We can click this guy here for the little 1, and that will give us a summary on our, sorry, not our count. So it'll give us our summary on each of these line items here. So we have a total excavation in this case of 516 cubic yards and a total backfill of 404 cubic yards. So our net in this case is an export of a little over 100 yards total. And so yeah, that is really the whole purpose of doing this exercise here, is to not only figure out how exactly we're going to be grading the site to get down and to build the work, but to really to come up with these two numbers here so that we can then figure out how we're moving earth around on site and how much we need at the end of the day, and so we can price it accordingly. So okay, with that, that really wraps up here our mini tutorial series on excavation and earthwork. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial series. If you did, then please make sure to like these videos and comment if you have any questions or notes for me. And yeah, with that, we will catch you here on another YouTube video here very soon. So thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of this. And yeah, we will talk to you soon.